This episode of LBM Talks Social Media is sponsored by PWT. At PWT, you get more than an engineered wood supplier. You get a true partner who's ready to support your success coast to coast. That's something they're willing to shake on. Welcome to LBM Talks Social Media. I'm Sally Lacey, the social media manager for LBM Journal, and every other week I have conversations with lumber dealers from around the country about how they're using social media to grow their business. I hope you stick around, because it's time to get social. Amy Smiley, hello and welcome to LBM Talks Social Media.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you as well. I'm excited about this.
Yes. This is you and I's first time meeting, so let's just start it out. Can you introduce yourself and who you work for to the podcast?
Yeah. So my name is Amy Smiley. I'm the Vice President of Marketing at 84 Lumber, and I've been with the company for 9.5 years now.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. So where are you located? Because 84 Lumber is nationwide.
Yeah, so 84 Lumber is actually headquartered in 84, Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Yes, we're named after the town of 84.
Wow, fun fact.
Yeah, and so it's just about 20 minutes south of Pittsburgh. So I'm located at our team headquarters in 84 PA. I live in Pittsburgh, so 84 is one of the largest companies and employers in this area as well. But yes, we're nationwide. We have 320 facilities in 34 states. We have 7,500 associates that work for us across the country. And we are second generation, family owned. Maggie Hardy is our current owner and CEO. Her father, Joe Hardy, started the company in 1956. So we're getting close to 70 years in business.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Well, I am so happy and excited that you agreed to join me on here because when it comes to a social media presence, 84 Lumber is pretty massive in this industry. So I wanted to just hear about your guys' journey with that. How does that sound?
That sounds great. I'm happy to talk about it.
Well, awesome. I guess just my first question is, like, when did 84 Lumber start utilizing social media? I would just guess it's kind of like when it all came out 15 or so years ago.
So I started with the company in January of 2016. And at that point, I believe we had a company Facebook page and an Instagram page and a YouTube channel. I don't know if you would call it that. And so it was very basic. There weren't a lot of followers. I mean, very small. I mean, it was under 1,000 followers on Instagram. And Facebook was just a main company page. Again, couple thousand followers, maybe. I don't even know. That might be generous at that point. We are lucky at 84 because we have a dynamic and forward-thinking owner and CEO, Maggie. And so when I came on board, she kind of said, I want to take us into the modern digital world. Like, we need to be doing all of these things. And so it was a little bit of a culture shock because this is as you know, in this industry, everything is very traditional. You know, it was like word of mouth, grassroots. What are you talking about? Why do we need a Facebook page? I remember getting pushback saying my customer is not on Facebook. And I was like, maybe they aren't, but they're going to be. And so that really was the start of, okay, let's start really focusing on social and digital media and what that looks like for our company and our brand. Our team was not set up for that. We didn't have a social media person. We didn't have a digital marketing person. And so over the years, those roles have evolved. and we'll talk a little bit more about that, I'm sure, as we continue on our conversation, but we had to put the right people in place to get to where we are right now, and understand that this was an investment, and it really needed to be a part of our overall marketing plan and strategy moving forward.
Totally. I love that. Just kind of the idea of innovating and just moving with the times, because I think that's where a lot of great growth can come from. And I also just love that example of you guys in 2016 with, a Facebook and an Instagram page, because I think that's where a lot of smaller LBM dealers just are at right now. And so, yeah. So, and so fast forward almost 10 years later, here you guys are, you have roughly like 700,000 followers combined on your guys' platforms. So how did you get there?
I know, I'm so excited. I'm so proud. Yeah.
No kidding.
So one of the reasons and why we experienced so much growth on Facebook was that Maggie wanted to do a Super Bowl ad in 2017. So I don't know if you have seen the ad or heard of it, but it was a total industry disruptor. And so bucket list for me, right? Doing a Super Bowl ad. Never thought coming to 84 Lumber that would be on my list, but it was, and it was awesome. We experienced a huge amount of growth and uptick on Facebook because of the Super Bowl ad. It was slightly controversial. People were like, who's 84 Lumber? What are they doing? And so that really kind of bumped it up quite a bit. Like, we went from 0 to like 100.
Okay.
Fast.
So why was it a little controversial, if I can ask?
So it's called The Journey, and it was really about a mother and daughter who were making their journey from Mexico to the United States. And at that point in time, that's when we were talking about the wall. And so, and part of this whole thing, Fox and the NFL, everybody had it like, you can't show the wall, it's too controversial, blah, blah, blah. Also, people are like, why is a lumber company, like Maggie's thing was, we're not here to just sell you a 2x4. We're here to talk about our company, our culture, our message. And the overall message was, the wills to succeed is always welcome here. So we needed people. We want people to come and work for us. And so that was the overall message. It was a recruiting piece, more so than come and buy lumber from us or building materials. But it resonated with across the board, right? And everyone here has their own 84 Lumber journey. I have mine. Mine is unique. You've heard a little bit about mine. But every single associate that works here has their own journey. So that's why, I mean, it's still on like Ad Age's list of top whatever Super Bowl ads.
Oh my gosh.
Every year. We're coming up on like 9 years since we've done it, and it's still one of those pieces that like we get a media mention even this many years later, because so many people were intrigued by the concept. Yeah. So that really helped launch it. But the overall strategy and plan was incorporating growing our platforms. We have monthly goals and KPIs that we focus on.
Okay.
And so every year that number just keeps growing, because we're accountable month after month of what content, what do we need to do to get those numbers and those follower growths up. So it's a key part of who we are. And now it's funny, everyone like knows about us, sees us, and kind of emulate. Some people emulate kind of what we're doing. And it's exciting to see how this industry has evolved. And I'm proud to say that this team here really has, or looked at as a leader in that space in this industry.
Totally. So you guys started out on Facebook and Instagram. You're also now currently on LinkedIn, TikTok, looks like YouTube. Hopefully I'm not missing any.
We're on Pinterest as well. Yeah.
So
and Twitter and X, we've kind of always, we were on X during the Super Bowl time too. So it was always kind of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then we created a LinkedIn company page, which we're at like 90,000 followers, I think, on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really become a huge presence for us. And our associates are really engaged and actively post and are excited to talk about their current projects or their customers. It's really exciting to see.
Yeah, that's so big on LinkedIn, is those individual presences. So you're on these several different platforms. So can you explain a little bit like the difference in kind of the purpose of these different platforms for you guys? Like how is your goal on Facebook and Instagram maybe different than your goal on LinkedIn or TikTok or Pinterest? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, we have an overall baseline goal, which is pretty standard across the board for follower growth. But in regards to content and different campaigns, those are obviously much different. So LinkedIn is very focused on business development, careers, more on the professional side. Not saying that it's not professional on the other channels, but Instagram tends to be, and TikTok, obviously. We're still figuring out our spot on TikTok. I would say we originally kind of created it for recruiting. Yeah. Because that's the next generation of 84 Lumber. They're on TikTok. They want to see day in the life videos. They want to see how is 84 Lumber giving back to the community. So that's kind of the content and the way that we're evolving that. Instagram, that's really where we work with a lot of our influencers. So you'll see those reels. You'll see someone coming into the store and getting the material and going back to their home or wherever and building that project and kind of seeing that come to life. Facebook, I like to call that our traditional social media because it's kind of the OG, right?
Yeah.
And that skews a little bit older. Based on demographic, but I will say that's where a majority of our main customers are getting information about 84 Lumber. I like to call Instagram kind of that next generation of home builders, right? Maybe they're taking over like their family business, they're really actively involved, but it's gonna, really increase over the years. And they want to see the pretty pictures, they want to see the video with the fun music over it.
So true.
And yeah, so that's kind of how we approach it a little bit differently. Pinterest is more inspiration. We've just tested out advertising on that platform. So again, always testing and learning. And we've learned a lot over the years.
Love it. That's fantastic. Like these different platforms, you're 100% right. They have these different audiences. And I love that you guys you have the resources to be on all of them and reach all of these different audiences. And you're so smart about doing it because the way to do it is through different kinds of content. I had seen you guys on TikTok before, and I was kind of looking through your content a little bit and like, oh, what's on here? And then I came across a recruiting video and I was like, genius. Being on TikTok for recruiting, especially with your guys' company, I think it makes a lot of sense with how many locations you have. Like TikTok is, a lot of people are on TikTok.
And we've dabbled in advertising on TikTok and using it for recruitment marketing purposes. So like if there was a job opening or a career fair, we're able to target certain zip codes within that area. So again, learning, testing, seeing how that works. We're getting leads from it. And are these leads quality leads or is it just a bunch of bots? Yeah. So again, lots of learning in the last few years.
I'm a team of one, and it's lots of learning for me too. Like, okay, looking at last month, what did well, what didn't do well, and just continually learning about the platform, about your audience. and all that. I'm curious about your social media team. So what does that look like for you guys? Who's on it? You know, what are their roles?
So, I mean, this credit is all due to Amanda Fox. She's our social media manager. She's amazing. She really puts together amazing content and is open to new ideas. And, you know, we also have a digital strategist, Ashton, who's also amazing, and she helps with our TikTok and our YouTube channel. She also helps with our social media for some of our other subsidiaries, which we have a billboard company and we have a sign shop. So she's also doing those platforms as well. So everybody kind of works together. So we're going to keep building this team, you know, as we keep gaining momentum, and our leadership team really is more bought into having this presence. It gives us the fuel we need to continue to invest and grow. But like our PR team, they're also involved. So things that we're doing in the media, they're sending that content to Amanda. I could shout out everybody's name on our team, but I'm not sure everybody wants to hear everybody's name, but they're all amazing and wonderful at what they do. We also have all of our we have a graphic design team. So all of our graphics are done in-house, which also feeds into the social. So it really is a team effort. It's not just one person, you know, doing everything, like creating the graphics and all of that. Like, it really truly is a collaborative experience.
Right. Yeah. All of those things go into it. The graphics. Digital strategist is a title I'm a little less familiar with, but I am surprised to hear that you only have one social media manager, considering how large your presence is. So yeah, shout out to the entire team.
Yeah. No, we are very lean and mean. We do a lot with a little bit. I say that all the time. But again, you got the right people in the right seats who are passionate about what they do. And I truly have a team of passionate marketers and who believe in the brand and the story that we're telling.
Can you share with us, Amy, throughout this journey of like 9 years, if there have been any, you mentioned the Super Bowl commercial, any other campaigns that really helped to just continue that growth for you guys online, and like what they were kind of focused on?
So May is a really big month for us. We've termed it Operation Appreciation. So we just celebrated 10 years of doing that, and we're going to have 10 years of also doing Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I think continuing to have these month-long campaigns where it's multifaceted, a lot of different organizations that we're working with. We're getting our associates on board and excited about the initiatives that we're doing. That's really been key for us. Partnering with passionate and reputable influencers. That's also something that has helped with our growth. We've learned a lot working with influencers, and people reach out to us all of the time saying, I have this project, I have a following, but we're very particular about who we work with. Because at the end of the day, we want to be authentic. We want to be authentic to who we are. We don't want it to just be a name, posting pictures and tagging us. We want them to actually go into the store, interact with our associates, buy our product, take it home, show that they're actually using it. We've tested this a lot over the years, and that's really what performs well. And a lot of people flash big names, HGTV, all that. And while we have worked with those people, we've learned who is our right target influencer and how they can best tell our story. And we also partner with a lot of our key vendor partners, like a James Hardy and Anderson Windows and LP Siding, and that's been really beneficial to us because it's the power of two brands, not just one. And they've said to us, like, we're not doing this with anybody else. Like, you guys are coming to us with these ideas and we love it. So I'm really proud of the work that we've done and our partners, that we continue to evolve and create new content. We actually were just filming some stuff a few weeks ago for Hispanic Heritage Month, which kicks off in September. So more to come on that. And so we don't wait until it's that time. We're always planning and making sure that we're all aligned and the messaging makes sense, and we're not just throwing up a graphic and saying we're a part of whatever, that there's really true meaning behind it.
Right. I love that idea of campaigns. Working for LBM Journal, we also, we have our yearly campaigns, like the 40 under 40, the LBM 100, and that is so helpful as like an outline for content to create based on campaigns. So I love that you guys also are kind of creating those and sticking with those based off of things that you want to highlight as your business. And something I'm also hearing just talking to you, the message is that you guys are innovating. Like, you're doing where you're going where things are moving. And that's got to be such a huge part of the growth. Like with the influencers, you're, at least in my mind, you're kind of known for that, because I don't think a lot of people in our industry, in the LBM industry, as dealers, are doing that. So when did you guys start doing that?
I would say we definitely started testing out the influencers prior to COVID. And then during the pandemic, people were at home and they were doing projects, and they wanted to, we capitalized on that a little bit, right? Because people wanted to build a deck or a pergola or remodel their bedroom or do an accent wall. And so we did like different like DIY challenges, and we got a lot of content from that. And that's really, I think, when it went from like, we worked with like one or two people to we've got multiple projects going on each month for influencers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we try to be like, hey, they're all not doing the same project. They're not in the same regional area. So like, we're working with people in California, Atlanta, North Carolina, Pennsylvania. We want to show different regions. We've done stuff in Chicago, and different, we want to show the variety of projects in different markets, and that we're not just a one trick pony, basically.
Right, totally. And I'm sure you have people in your DMs messaging you. That just makes sense for the influencer community.
Yes, always.
So what are some things that you look for in an influencer partnership?
So one, we look at their pages, right? We want to see their aesthetic, their messaging, that there's nothing that doesn't align with our core values as a brand and as a company.
Right.
We want to make sure they have a decent following, right? It can't have like 1,000 followers, and that's just not, you're not there yet. You're on your way, but you're just not there yet. We also like people who are willing to be flexible, right? We want people to actually do this for a trade of materials, right? Not just money. Yeah. That you're actually going to use our products, and we're going to provide those products to you, and you find value in that. Again, it's all about, I'm saying this word, authentic. Not just like, oh, I'm doing this because they're paying me to do this. Do you know your products? Are you an expert in what you're influencing? So a lot of those things are really important to us. But again, making sure that they're aesthetically pleasing, their page. Like if we're dragging people to their page, like what does that look like? Does it align with ours? What are their core values? What's their messaging? Is there anything glaring on there that just we wouldn't want to be associated with that person? So we do a whole vetting process. And then just understanding that we really like to do a trade of material.
Yeah. Yeah. So influencers, I'm assuming that is mainly for Instagram and maybe Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's mainly for Instagram. We've done some influencers who are just strictly TikTok.
Okay.
And then some are like, hey, I'll cross promote on my Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So it really just depends on who the influencer is and where they're strongest. Mm-hmm. And that's really what we focus on. But we've relied a lot on influencers to help us grow our Instagram follower base.
I am curious if you would be willing to share just some examples of like the best performing content currently on the different platforms that you're on. I notice on Instagram, you guys are great, hopping on trends, and the influencer collabs are huge. So anything else for Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok?
So recently so you see all these trendy videos, right? You see all the reels and you're like, oh, some people hop on them and it just falls flat because it just doesn't hit. Mm-hmm. But recently we did 2, which turned out awesome. We did the airball one. And that one is performing really well, actually. And then we did the one, propaganda I'm not falling for.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw
and
that one.
Yeah. So, again, those ones worked out great. But, some of these other challenges and things like that, that's just not anything that's just kind of like borders on not being professional. We took those, and I think it was like, the airball was, oh, so you're a lumber company, so you just sell 2x4s and plywood. And then it shows like these massive like multi-family builds with like trusses swinging and like all like, you just think like lumber, and people don't realize the magnitude of these projects that 84 Lumber is a part of. Yeah.
Trends, like thinking about the airball one, the idea behind the trend is to get a message across. So these trends can be so helpful in like being culturally relevant while also getting that message across. So what about...
Yeah, and then we partnered with... It was a little bit of a unique partnership, but there's this 9-year-old tractor kid, Justin Jackson thing, and I'm sure you've seen him on our page. He has like 1 million followers across TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and YouTube, and we built him a custom pole barn. So... And we took him on a tour of a truss plant. We took him on a tour of a store. And so, again, taking this influencer and somebody who maybe you wouldn't think would partner with 84 Lumber, but people love him and they love his content. And so that's just, something unique. Another kind of we actually just wrapped his final reveal of his barn, so we're going to be posting that video soon.
Oh, fun.
And that's
I have seen those comments, and the consensus is that people love this kid.
Yes.
I don't know him, but that's what the comments are.
Yeah.
Awesome. What about LinkedIn? What are you guys sharing there that is doing well?
I would say a lot of our charitable efforts, right? So things that we're doing within the community. And we usually have great video content tied to that. So we actually just shared a video today that partnered with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Again, thinking about 2 brands and the power of telling that story. So, we are a partner of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And, that could just be viewed as a sponsorship, but we like to take it to the next level and say, how do we work together and do good in the community, and how do we tell that story? So we're very focused on military and veterans. They've taken that. This is the off season for them. On Friday, we built 116 bikes for military families to give to kids. And so they came, they picked up their bikes, we built them, and just telling that story, that performs really well. Thought leadership, podcasts, different things that our leaders are participating in and sharing that out. Maggie's on there. She's active on her page. Frank, our COO, he's posting about new locations that we're opening and getting excited about what our associates are doing. It's not just about liking that post. It's about creating your own content and sharing that out, and people respond really well to that.
So is it kind of just Maggie and your COO that take to LinkedIn, or is it kind of a company-wide culture?
It's a company-wide culture across the board, and we encourage people to share their stories, their stores, so that they can reach their customers. And every market, as like I said, is so different, and being able to see that wide variety of content across the board really does help with engagement.
Totally. LinkedIn is a really fun and powerful platform, I think.
Yeah, and we actually put together like tips and tricks and best practices that we share out with our associates and tell them, because a lot of people are like, I don't know how to even get started.
Right.
And it's like, here's how you create a page. You upload a profile picture, make sure you are following 84 Lumber. And like we put together all of this so it makes it easier, because I hear it a lot. It's like, I don't have time for it. I don't even know where to start. And so our team really works to help anybody who needs assistance on that end.
Yeah.
And we have it on our internal website on cover photos and different things like that they can use to get started.
Nice. Yeah, and it's so nice when it is kind of a company culture and celebrated, because I think a lot of people, that's kind of sometimes people feel weird for posting on social media or for like doing these things, and when it's the culture, it just makes it so much easier. And I think people struggle with that. I hear that in the industry. It's like our sales reps they don't post on LinkedIn, but so we're trying to kind of say like, no, it's good for you. It's good for the company. It's just good for everybody. Like, let's all participate.
Another thing that I do want to mention is that we're obviously a woman-owned company. And so we really focus on, we're going back to the campaigns, Women in Construction Week, Women's History Month, and really being advocates and talking about our WBE division, who work with other women-owned businesses within this industry and help grow and provide resources to women, and showing and telling their story. I'm like, this is what's important. Like, I need to tell my story because somebody can see, okay, she's done it, I can do it. And that resonates across all markets, all stores. We have install project managers. It's not just a corporate job. Like, we have women working in our stores. They're on job sites every day. We have very successful sales associates within this company who are women. And so continuing to highlight and shed a light on that is really part of who we are. And being a woman-owned company and having a leader like Maggie, who's been in this industry basically her entire life, is a great story to tell.
And I think you guys are doing a really good job of spreading it, because I knew that, and I had never, had a conversation with you, but I knew that you guys were woman-owned and all that, because
Great.
I see it. So
it's out there.
Yeah. Just to kind of finish off that question, do you have any specific pieces of content for Facebook and TikTok?
TikTok, I would say it is kind of the career videos that work really well. We do profile pieces of our associates. We try to so we have a manager of the year, a rookie of the year, an area manager of the year, and it kind of goes through their journey at 84 Lumber, and we slice and dice that. That's a great thing about TikTok, is that we have this amazing professionally produced video content. We can take it and slice it into different segments that work best for that platform. And I think that works really well on TikTok.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And Facebook, I would say, that's why I said a majority of our customers are on there. I think anything that is related to our projects, a lot of our video content, like our professionally produced video content, performs really well on Facebook as well. And we boost that and promote it as much as we can.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's good to know. Oh, Facebook. It's totally a reality that there are a lot of people on Facebook, but it's so I'm getting
especially
back into it.
Especially this industry.
Yes.
Yeah, this industry.
Yes.
I mean, I'm hoping that it's going to shift, but it's still very much a top used platform.
Totally. Yeah, no, I find Facebook to be great for LBM dealers to be on because it's still kind of the way that it always has been with being involved in your local communities. And when you're a local business for a lot of these, it's a helpful platform.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for being here. You guys are amazing. Amy, how we kind of close this out is what advice would you give to LBM dealers on how they can grow their socials and grow their business from your experience?
I would say 2 things. Have a plan, execute that plan, and have the right person that's knowledgeable executing that plan. Everybody thinks they can do social media because they have a personal page. A business social account is a lot different than a personal account. And you have to approach it in that way, and you have to have guidelines in place. And I think once you have those basic things set up, you're going to be successful. I also say you do not have to post every day. If you don't have the content, don't post it. You have to believe in what you're posting. Don't just say, I need to post because I got to post every single day. I see this all the time. And it's like, that post isn't even worthy of being on your page. Make sure that your content is relevant, it's professional, and it's what your target audience wants to see and will engage with.
Amy, thank you so much for coming on here and representing 84 Lumber and sharing all of your knowledge with us. We appreciate it.
Of course, it was my pleasure. Thanks so much.